Hello, welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is the beginning of the Championship playoffs this Sunday lunchtime as Norwich host Leeds at Carrow Road for the first leg of two. Norwich are coming into this game with a shaky bit of form with just one win from their last five, which came away at Preston almost a month ago. The Canaries finished this season in sixth position, 3 points ahead of Hull in seventh, who just missed out on the playoff positions. Norwich under Wagner are looking to return to the Premier League after 2 seasons away. For Leeds, they are under Daniel Farke, who led Norwich to 2 Championship titles during his time there. Leeds stumbled over the line this season and fell short of automatic promotion as they lost 3 of their last 4 games to finish third and 6 points off Ipswich in second and 7 points off Leicester, who won the Championship title. Leeds completed the league double over Norwich this season with a 3-2 away win in late October and a 1-0 home win in late January, with the only goal in that game being scored by former Norwich player Patrick Bamford. So for this Championship playoff semi-final first leg, can Norwich or Leeds take an advantage to Elland Road for the second leg on Thursday? It's going to be a difficult one to predict, this one, because Leeds are in such poor form at the moment, but Norwich, in terms of victories, aren't too much better, really. They have got 5 wins in their last 10, Norwich, and that does include their victory against Ipswich at the start of April. But for Leeds, it's just been a disastrous end to the season. 2 wins from their last 8 games, including that defeat on the final day to Southampton, who they could potentially face in the playoff final at Wembley. Lost 2-1 on that day to the Saints, and it's just not the way that Leeds wanted to end the season. And it's so strange for Leeds the way the season did end, because they were in quite good form really before this real dip in form. It was strange to see them almost fall off the cliff so much. I believe they were around 15 games unbeaten before, like I say, just stumbling over the line to finish the season. Of course, they were always going to be in the playoff spots. The main aim was automatic promotion, but to end up finishing 6 points off the automatic places, it is poor, because, you know, at one point it was in their hands with, I think, about 8 games to go. So for them to fall so short when being, you know, in probably the best position in the league, it's definitely one that's it's difficult to understand, but it's going to have to be playoffs now for Leeds United. This is their 6th playoff attempt. They have never been promoted via the playoffs, Leeds United. Their most recent playoff tie in the Championship was that 4-3 defeat on aggregate to Derby when they were under Frank Lampard, and that was definitely a playoff campaign where Leeds expected themselves to be promoted, but of course that Derby squad under Lampard had such good players and they were able to do the job. And can Norwich do the job this time around? 2-0 Leeds, Ruta and Nonso. Interesting prediction. Like I say, Nonso is starting on the left for Leeds United, and Jorginho Ruta is playing through the middle as the striker. Jorginho Ruta usually plays just in behind the striker, but they've gone for a bit more of a solidified midfield with Glenn Kamara, Ilya Gruev and Archie Gray. And Ruta hasn't really been scoring too often this season. He's only got 6 league goals, 1 in his last 19 or 0 in his last 13. The last time he scored was in mid-February to Plymouth away. He has provided 15 assists this season, but he hasn't provided an assist for quite some time now. I think around 2 months the last time Jorginho Ruta even contributed to a goal this season. So they definitely need him to return to his previous form that has led him to obviously be named in the Championship Team of the Season alongside his 2 teammates of Somerville, who won Championship Player of the Year, and Ethan Ampadu, who made the Team of the Season. But definitely a very interesting playoff tie. As the other playoff tie will be played later on today, West Brom hosting Southampton, and then on the Friday night, Southampton of course then host West Brom, but we are commentating on this second leg, which is on Thursday night. And Leeds did come here earlier on in the season and win 3-2, but the interesting fact about that game was Norwich took a very early lead 4 minutes in through Shane Duffy, and they also went 2-0 up right before half-time through Sarah. So that definitely cannot happen for Norwich this lunchtime kickoff. If they get an early lead like that, like a 2-0 lead, they cannot let it slip. Norwich have got to try and take an advantage going into the second leg away at Ellen Road, which is a very difficult place to go and play football. So even a draw for Norwich I don't think would stand them in great stead to go through. But who knows, they could possibly do a comeback at Ellen Road. Like I say, Leeds aren't in very good form at the moment. So I definitely think it's one of those games where anything can happen. I definitely think Norwich are in slightly better form, but nothing that would blow you away in terms of how many wins they're picking up as of late. But both sides did lose their last game. As we mentioned, Leeds lost to Southampton on the last day, and Norwich also lost away from home to Birmingham by 1-0. And they've got a good home record, Norwich. 15 wins altogether, 8 in a row. They had before they've drawn their last 2 at home, but unbeaten in 10. So it's definitely 2 stadiums where this Championship playoff will take place, and it's 2 stadiums where the home team are very strong. So that's why it'll make such an interesting tie, because Norwich are great here at Carrow Road and Leeds are brilliant at Ellen Road. So it's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on, this playoff tie. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, he is out. Patrick Bamford spent a little bit of time at Norwich on loan in 2016, but he is out for this first leg. Hopefully he might be able to return for the second, but in fairness, Leeds do have plenty of strikers in their squad. Joel Piroux on the bench, Matteo Joseph and Joe Gelhardt as well. So we'll go through both sides very quickly. As for Norwich, they've actually got an unchanged lineup from the last time they faced Leeds back on the 24th of January. Agnes Gunn in goal with a back 4 of Jack Stacey, Shane Duffy, Ben Gibson and a returning Dimitros Yanoulis. 2 holding midfielders of Marcelino Nunez, Kenny McLean the captain. 3 behind the striker. On the right is a returning Jonathan Rowe, who's got his first start since his return from injury. On the left is Borja Sainz. Through the middle and behind the striker is Gabriel Sara, and through the middle leading the line, making his 99th Norwich appearance, it is the American Josh Sargent. And for Leeds United, Ilan Meslier, the Golden Glove winner this season in the Championship, starts in goal. Back 4 on the right is Sam Byron. On the left back is Junior Firpo, and the 2 centre-halves is captain Ethan Ampadu and loanee from Spurs Joe Rodon. 2 older midfielders of Ilya Gruev and Glenn Kamara, with Archie Gray just sitting in front of them in an attacking midfield role. He's making his 50th Leeds appearance. On the right is the player of the year in the Championship, and that is Crescencio Somerville. On the left is the Italian Willy Nonto, and through the middle, leading the line on his own today. Like I say, usually plays in behind the striker, but this time he is the one who has to be scoring the goals, and that is Jorginho Ruta, who has scored just 1 in his last 19 Championship games. They really need him firing this afternoon if they want to take something to Ellen Road, which would be a fantastic result if they can try and take a victory into the second leg. But they've got a difficult task coming up, because this Norwich side are a very good team, especially at home. Norwich are unbeaten in their last 15. The last time they lost it in the league was a 3-1 defeat to Blackburn in early November. Just shows how difficult it is to come here and pick up a result, but Leeds will try their best despite being on such a horrid run at the moment. 1 win from the last 5, 2 wins from the last 8. They certainly need their players to step up today. There's the 2 managers shake hands there. David Wagner and Daniel Farke. Of course, Daniel Farke once of Norwich for 4 years, leading them to 2 Championship titles, which is 2 seasons in the Premier League. Unfortunately, those Premier League seasons did end in relegation, both of them finishing in 20th position. But we're about to get underway here at Carrow Road for the first leg of this playoff semi-final. It'll be Leeds to kick off, kicking left to right. Norwich right to left. Both teams in their home kits this afternoon. as it'll be Ruta to get us underway, playing the ball to Kamara, who goes back to the right centre half of Joe Rodon, falls back to Melier, who goes to the right centre half there to Rodon, just keeping it away from the press of Gabriel Sara. It's now Rodon to bring it forward from right centre back on the halfway line, goes forward and inside to Ruta, touches it on for Nonto, now to Gray, tackled by Gibson, falls to McLean, and Norwich have their first touches of the ball. McLean over the top towards Sargent on the right hand side, just too much power on the pass, and it'll be dealt with by Junior Firpo. Looks like a very high line there though from Leeds United. You have to be careful because Josh Sargent can certainly get in behind a defence if the pass is right. As Rodon from right centre half again, bringing it forward, finding the pass to Nonto, flicks it to the right to Byram, just goes behind the run of Gray, and again Norwich have possession on the edge of the 18-yard box with their number 6, Ben Gibson, who's just got one win in his career against Leeds in the previous 7 appearances. Came in the 17-18 season whilst he was at Middlesbrough. And Norwich just relaxing the possession here, getting their first few touches of the ball, which is very important for them to do. As it's Ben Gibson at left centre-back, offering a bit too much the ball to Nonto, but he can't quite take it off him. And it's now with a goalkeeper Gunn in the 6-yard box, who just gets rid down the right-hand side, up towards Jonathan Rowe, header won on halfway by Firpo, controlled by Gray. Can't quite turn away from McLean, who's in the centre circle now, trying to play the ball through. It deflects and bobbles out wide to the left. Can it be kept in here? It can. Here is Sainz on the ball for Norwich in the final third, running at Byram, trying to take him on, but he can't. But he does win a corner. Borja Sainz looking to run at Byram, but he's done well to deal with him there. The Leeds number 25, former Norwich player, spent 4 years here, but suffered with many injuries, only racked up 54 appearances whilst at the club. And this is his 180th Leeds appearance, as he's here at his second spell with the club. And Norwich do have the joint second most set-piece goals this season in the Championship. The most were Cardiff with 22, but Norwich have scored from 20 set pieces as the ball is delivered into the near post, flicked on towards the penalty spot where it's kicked away by Nonto. Somerville will chase it. It'll be dealt with here by Sainz, who can shrug off Somerville on the right-hand side, and he runs towards goal. Sainz lays it off for Rowe. One-on-one with Firpo in the box. Can he get a shot away? Right foot tries the cross instead, blocked by Firpo, and it'll roll out for a throw-in. Brilliant start from Norwich after some early possession from Leeds United. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I really do think this is going to be an exciting first leg between two teams that are in need of form, and one of them are going to have to pick up the form because we're going to have a winner over these 2 legs. There's a throw-in. It's not really dealt with very well there. Sara can't quite get it under control. Firpo can clear it up the field here in the air, where it's headed forward for Norwich. Does it come off the arm of Archie Gray? No, says the referee. Gruev gets a pass deflected off Sargent, and eventually the shot goes towards goal there, and it's sliced out, I think, for a throw-in there. Not a great attempt for Norwich. And then number 26, Marcelino Nunez, their Chilean midfielder. 80th appearance for Nunez at Norwich, where he joined last season. First ever club away from Chile for the Norwich number 26. As Byram throws down the right-hand side for Leeds, headed forward by Gibson, always finds Gray, who heads it down the line again, dealt with by McLean, towards Gray, loses possession, and it's now with Yanulis, and then back into the Norwich half here. They restart with their right centre half of Shane Duffy, scored once previously against Leeds in 9 appearances. As we're midway inside the Norwich half, no real press here on Ben Gibson, the left centre-back for Norwich, who will bring the ball forward slightly. He's been pressed now by Nonto, and he's been forced to go to the goalkeeper of Gunn. Ruta getting towards the goalkeeper, but he can just spray it out towards the left-hand side to Sainz, who controls really well, but he's got Grev on his back, and Sainz allows Yanulis to take over. And it's now Sara, forced to go back to Gibson's, tripped as he released the ball, so that will be a free kick for Norwich. Well kept there by Gabriel Sara, the number 17, who started every Championship game so far this season. 2 goals in his last 4. Named in the Championship Team of the Year. The Brazilian attacking midfielder. As Duffy goes long, big switch out to the left-hand side towards Yanulis. As Byram tries to head it back to Melier, and he just about kicks it away from Yanulis, the Greek left-back who was getting forward, pressing that ball there. Risky back pass from Byram with his head. And it was almost intercepted by Yanulis. As Leeds have it just inside their own half with Gruev. Low ball out to the right to Nonto. Time on the ball for the Italian. He can run forward towards Yanulis into the final third. Nonto in the box on the right-hand side. Squares it. Chance for Ruta. Miss kicks it. Kicks air in the end, and it goes all the way through to Jonathan Rowe in a right-back position. Norwich needs to try and clear with Sarah. Low ball down the line. Can't reach Jonathan Rowe. Throwing for Leeds. Huge chance there for Jorginho Ruta. Good running there by Nonto. Didn't get close enough to him. It's really poor how Nonto's have been allowed to cross that ball. And right on the penalty spot, Ruta's gone to shoot. And like I say, just completely missed it. As Nonto tries to get into the box again here. Brought down by Sainz. Nothing given by the referee. Yanulis tackles Ruta. Ruta tackles Yanulis and it goes out for a goal kick. And today's referee, Josh Smith, waves away the claims of a penalty. Nonto believes he should have got one. Chopping inside from the right-hand side on towards his left foot. Sainz pulling him down. Is it in the box? I do think it's a foul. Nonto just getting the better of Borja Sainz. He went to get the ball, didn't get it, tripped the man. I think that's possibly a penalty. Leeds have certainly got a good claim for that. But Josh Smith, the referee, says no, and it remains 0-0, which has been a really positive start for both. As Gunn, the goalkeeper, goes long for Norwich. Flicked on by Sargent, out to the right-hand side to Rowe. Dealt with by Ampadu in a left-back position, who clears it with his left foot towards Kamara. Lifts it out wide left towards Somerville, but can't quite get there, the Dutchman. Seen how to play by Stacey for a throw-in, and he takes it quickly here to Shane Duffy, who was brought in the summer on a free from Fulham. His only goal this season came against Leeds in that 3-2 home defeat back in October. As Gibson lifts it forward down the middle of the pitch, but nowhere near Sargent, and straight into the gloves of Elon Meslier, who's won 4 out of 4 against Norwich in his career, the French goalkeeper. It's in a halfway line, right back position with Byron. Take his time on the ball here. Goes to the right centre half of Rodon. Spent last season on loan in France with Stade Rennais. Finished 4th in Ligue 1. As Rodon bringing it forward in his own half. Turns back and uses Elon Meslier. It's now with the number 4 of Ethan Ampadu. It's Gruev inside the Leeds half. Not really being pressed, the Bulgarian. As he finds Rodon. Out to the right to Byram. His touch isn't great, and he just about keeps that in play. And restarts on the halfway line with Rodon. But for Norwich, they have just 1 win from their last 7 home games against Leeds, drawing 2 and losing 4. They have lost the last 3 in a row here against today's opposition. It's on the head-to-head. It's not very healthy for Norwich, who have just won 3 of the last 15 against Leeds. 2 of those 3 wins have been away. The last home win here was April 2018 as Nonto crosses into the box, can't be controlled by Ruta, sends it out of the box to McLean, the Norwich captain, looking for Sainz out wide left, just over hit, dealt with by Rodon. Goes for Yanulis, who heads forward to Sainz, gets away from the challenger Gray, but can't get away from Ruta, but the loose ball drops to McLean. And it's now Nunez to the edge of the box to Duffy, well kept by Norwich. Duffy lifts out to the right towards the right back Stacey, who marauds into the Leeds half and gets there at a Firpo. Stacey with the ball towards the corner flag on the right-hand side. Crosses, deflects low. Dealt with at the near post by Ampadu, who finds Firpo at left back. Across to Meslier, who just hurries the ball away left-footed. Loops into the air. Chested down by Rowe, but straight to the chest of Kamara instead down the Leeds left. Forward to Ruta. Tackled quickly there by Duffy. Nunez can bring it away on the right-hand side. Finds the pass. Can Norwich work something here? Sarah tries the cross, deflects off Firpo, out to McLean, who can work it to Stacey, heads forward, and then cleared away by Ruta, and then on once more by Rodon, and how a play throwing on that far side, on the halfway line, for Norwich City, who got into the playoffs and stayed in the playoff positions in March, start of March, so even though it did look at times like Norwich may have slipped out of the playoffs, even up until the last day, it was all good for them in the end to get into the playoff positions. And even though Norwich haven't necessarily been winning a lot of games, they haven't really been losing many. They've only lost 2 of their last 10, which was on the last day to Birmingham and then at the start, and then on the 1st of April to Leicester City. But in these playoffs, it's all about winning the games, really. There's Meslier, really sloppy pass to the right centre-back of Rodon, and gives a throw into Norwich in the final third on this near side. A really poor distribution there by Elon Melier, who's looking for his 50th Leeds clean sheet this afternoon. We're just over 10 minutes in. Both sides have settled into the game quite well. Leeds have had an early penalty shout with Nonto in the 6th minute, not given by the referee, Josh Smith. And that's Shane Duffy on halfway for Norwich. Goes into the centre circle here to Nunez. Turns away from Gray, but Gray won't give it up and he'll slide in, win the ball cleanly, but straight to Gibson. Sends it forward. It's a high ball. Jonathan Rowe will chase it, but it's a header back there by Ampadu to Elon Melier. Calm defending from the Welshman. And Leeds are back in possession. Leeds do have 4 wins in a row against Norwich. League doubles in the Premier League in 21-22 season. The last time these two teams were in the same division. And then Leeds did the league double again over them this season, winning home and away. As Ampadu goes back to Melier in the 18-yard box. To the right centre-back of Rodon, and he reaches him this time. Sargent will close him down, but Rodon can send a high ball down the right-hand side, volleyed away from Archie Gray, flicked on by Nunez towards Sargent, tackled by Rodon. And he'll go into the centre circle to Somerville, lays it off on the halfway line to Kamara, who will bring it forward and out to the left-hand side in the Norwich half. He's got Firpo as company, and he'll find Firpo in the final third. Goes back here into Kamara. Time on the ball for him. It's now Somerville trying to go forward towards goal, but has to turn back as he's running in towards 3 Norwich players there. Crescencio Somerville. It's now Firpo inside to Ruta on that left wing position. Poked through to Somerville off Jonathan Rowe, and it'll be a free kick instead. Given against Jonathan Rowe, foul on Ruta. I thought Rowe got the ball. No, it was actually Ruta who poked it through to Somerville. And Rowe came in from behind and tripped Ruta, rightly given free kick there by the referee. But Jonathan Rowe back in the starting 11, which is a really pleasant sight for those Norwich City supporters. Injured for quite a while. Injured for just under 2 months, Jonathan Rowe, from the middle of February to the start of April. Played the last 4 games, but all off the bench. This is his first start since that injury. So on the left-hand side, it'll be a shot towards goal, and it's the header at the near post by Jack Stacey, and it'll be a corner on the far side for Leeds. Surprised they went for the shot on goal there, Leeds United, because like I said, it was just towards the left-hand side, so the angle was rather tight for a shot. You would expect the goalkeeper to save an attempt towards goal there. As it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from Crescencio Somerville, the Leeds player of the season. Somerville, it's an in-swinger towards the near post. It's parried away by Gunn to the edge of the box where it's drilled in by Nonso. And it's blocked. And Norwich can counter. Rowe forward into the space for Sainz. And then one more pass on in front of him. Rowe's making a run into the box. Can they find him? He's looked for him. It deflects and it's cleared by Firpo. Unlucky there from Norwich City. As the counter-attack was very quick there. Yanulis, the left-back, was the one marauding forward in the right-back position. The Norwich number 30, but he couldn't quite find the pass in the box. It was dealt with by Leeds United. As it's now the right back Jack Stacey with a throw in the final third. Waiting for a bit of movement here. Throws it into Rowe. Back to goal. Firpo try to take it off him, and he does, but he only kicks it as far as the Norwich player as the ball goes in the box. Header won there by Rodon ahead of Sargent. And it still remains 0-0 here at Carrow Road. Stacey with the throw-in again, midway inside the Leeds half on that far side. Definitely takes his time with these throw-ins, and he throws it back to the halfway line to Shane Duffy to keep the possession here. For Norwich, he's now in the centre circle with Ben Gibson, the 31-year-old centre-half, who's making his 14th start in a row in the league, Ben Gibson. He's out on the halfway line with Borja Sainz, the Norwich number 7, brought in from Turkey in the summer, and he's got 2 in his last 5 in terms of goals. Jonathan Rowe in the right wing position into space for Stacey in the final third towards the byline. Lifts across into the box and Sargent with the header. And it's well wide of the goal in the end. From just 6 yards out as well. You feel like Sargent's got to be doing better than that. I mean, it is a good 5 yards off target. He's really not caught that header well. But it's good football from Norwich to work it out wide to Stacey, who's got the second most amount of crosses in the division this season. So he really gets into those advanced areas to work those crosses into the box, but that one didn't quite come off there for the home side. And we're 15 minutes in. 0-0. Leeds playing out from the back. Gruev, heavy touch, gives it away. Loops to Sargent, controls it. Tries to turn, shoved in the back by Gruev. And it's a free kick. 25 yards out for Norwich. But Leeds are just losing their grip on this game. Meslier playing it to the edge of the box to his holding midfielder, Gruev, who tried to take a touch back towards his own goal, but touched it straight to Sara. And eventually the ball looped back towards Sargent, who was fouled by Gruev in the end. Poor mistake from the Bulgarian central midfielder, who was brought in for £5 million from Werder Bremen in the summer. One of 10 signings that Leeds have brought in this season. It is Nunez and Sara stood over this free kick. They've got the left foot of Sara and the right foot of Nunez. Nunez has only scored twice this season, and he's got the winner in the recent game against Ipswich, that 1-0 win at the start of April. Then for Gabriel Sara, like I say, 2 in his last 4. And he found himself in the Championship Team of the Year. He'll be the left foot, though, of Sara. It's an easy save in the end, down low to Mellier's right. Just tried to bend it round the wall, which he did in fairness, but not enough power on it at all. Rather easy for Elon Meslier as he rolls it out to the right centre-back here of Rodon. Bringing it forward, playing it to the halfway line to Byron, but he goes just behind him. And out of play for a Norwich throw-in. Need to try and get a grip back of this game, Leeds, because they're visibly showing that they're struggling at the moment. As away from home, they have lost 8 games this season. 8 of their 10 defeats in the league for Leeds. They've been away from home, which isn't great. They have only lost 2 of their last 10. And they were unbeaten in 7 away games before their last 3. Commentating on one of their recent away wins against Middlesbrough, which was 4-3. Again, a bit of a scrappy game in all honesty. As what a run. This is from Sainz down the left-hand side, away from Gruev. He's going to continue to chase him. Sainz holds it up against him. Sainz still has it in a central area, and it's been pulled back for a free kick. Shirt pulled by Gruev, who's not had a great last couple of minutes. Sainz, though, with a brilliant run from in his own half, skipping beyond Byram, and then Gruev was just chasing him from behind, and he got a grab of the shirt. Like I say, I'm surprised, and a grab of the shorts as well. I'm surprised that's not resulted in a booking, to be honest. But really positive run in there from Borja Sainz, who didn't feature in the home game against Leeds early on in the season, but he was involved in the away fixture in the January. Another free kick, further out this time, about 35 yards out, just to the left-hand side. So it looks like it's going to be a left-footed cross into the box by Gabriel Sara, former Sao Paulo attacker. He actually walks away. It looks like it's going to be the right foot of Nunez. He's going to work it out to the left-hand side here to Yanulis. Glow ball into the near post, dealt with by Byram. Can only touch it out of play for a corner. Yeah, the angle wasn't great, really, from that free kick. So they worked it out wide left, and Leeds left Yanulis all alone. Gray tried to get out to him, but he was still able to work the cross in, but it wasn't really hit with any conviction. Quite a poor cross, really. Not dealt with that well by Sam Byram. As it looks like it is going to be a left-footed outswinger here from Gabriel Sara, the 24-year-old Brazilian. Can they get this cross right to try and take the lead in this playoff semi-final? Sara, outswinger, curls it in, header won by Rodon. Drops to the edge of the area here to Yanulis, works it to Sara, can't quite take on Ruta in a right-back position, who kicks it off Sara and then pulls down Sara, and that'll be another free kick for Norwich. Ruta doesn't agree, but there's definitely a pull on the arm. Ruta tried to clear it. Sara got in the way, and as Sara tried to chase down his own deflection, he was just pulled back and down to the ground, and Ruta gave the referee little choice but to give a free kick. So Nunez with his right foot is over this one. It's almost like a better angled corner, really, for Norwich City. The delivery goes in towards the near post. It's dealt with by Leeds United. And Ruta can avoid the corner. Clears it up to the halfway line where Stacey is all alone. Now this near side. Sarah giving the ball away. Somerville keeps it. Works it to the right back. Byram lifts it down the right hand side. Gray will chase it. But he will get nowhere near that. Easy for Gibson to go and get back. For Norwich, do apologise, but Jack Stacey at right back is actually number 3, not number 2. Do apologise about that. That's Norwich play out from the back on the halfway line. Near side, Sainz caught out of possession. Didn't see Rodon coming, and Rodon will take it down the right wing for Leeds. He wants the next pass. Goes inside here to Somerville. Looking forward, 25 yards out from goal. Takes too long on it, tackled by Yanulis. Can only toe poke it away though to Gruev. Somerville's got to be more aware of his surroundings there. A bit like Sainz as well, who got caught out as Ruta can't keep possession there, tackled, and Norwich have it with McLean, the captain, with the left back Yanulis into the 18-yard area to Gibson. To his right to Nunez, who can just lift it to the right-hand side towards Stacey, but it's a misplaced pass and it's headed down the line by Firpo. Can't keep it in pitch though, as he was looking for Nonso on the left. And it'll be a Norwich throw-in. Got away with that one there because that was a poor ball by Marcelino Nunez. Does have a playoff promotion himself. David Wagner, when he was at Huddersfield in the 16-17 season, got it through the playoffs, which included 2 penalty shootouts. As they attack down the right flank here, Jonathan Rowe in a right-back position. It goes across to Sargent, who's almost in a midfield position. It's now on once more and a strike towards goal. And well over the bar of his left foot by Nunez. Asking a lot of himself there, the Chilean. As Rowe played it along to Sargent, who, like I say, was in a rather deep position. But in fairness, Gabriel Sara advanced into a striker role. Nunez let fly, but was never going to work that on target. Always flying over the crossbar. Melier goes long. It's a big kick, but nowhere near Ruta. And Duffy can just glance the header back there to the goalkeeper of Agnes Gunn. Started his footballing career at Norwich at youth level, then moved on to Manchester City for 7 years, where he never made a first-team appearance for City. But he's now returned to his boyhood club of Norwich. This is his first ever playoff campaign for the goalkeeper, as he gets a bad back pass there, a bit bouncy, but he can deal with it really calmly, just chesting it down. And now on the penalty spot, he has the ball. If you are new, if you could please like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We are commentating next on Wednesday nights is Spurs and Chelsea's women's sides take each other on in a big game in the WSL. Stacey pulled down the right-hand side into the final third. Rowe will chase it. Ampadu will get there first. Goes across the 18-yard box to Melier, who will keep it simple. Goes to the right centre-back of Rodon towards this near side. Keeps it in. Clips it down the line. Header away, though, by McLean. Towards Sargent. As it comes off Rodon. Quickly taken, throwing down the line by Sainz to Sargent. In a left-wing position. Can the American make something happen? Into the box here for Rowe. He's drifted to the left-hand side. In the area, pokes it across, and no one's there to finish. He'll be kept alive on the right flank by Nunez. He's got the overlap of Stacey. Nunez will try and go towards Sarah instead. Can't take on Ampadu, but will win a corner. It's been a really good start, this from Norwich. Definitely the better side. Well taken throwing quickly down the line to Sargent there by Sainz, the Spaniard. He's had a really good start to the game. The Norwich number 7. Goes short to Stacey. And then back. Oh, he's offside. Really poor that. Nunez took the corner short to Stacey, who played it back to Nunez, who hadn't quite got himself back on side there. So concedes the free kick. Bit of a waste there for Norwich. And this is Norwich's 3rd appearance in the Football League playoffs, all in the second tier. They have got to the final both times previously. 1 defeat against Birmingham in 2002. And then they did win in 2015 to Middlesbrough. So they've had ups and downs in the playoffs, but they've always reached the final, Norwich, which is an interesting factor to think about. As in between the 2 centre-backs on the ball is Nunez. just in front of his 18-yard box for Norwich. Goes to the left to Gibson. Plenty of time on the ball. Nonto is coming close towards him, though. He'll send it back to Gunn in the 18-yard area. Time on the ball here for the Scottish international goalkeeper. It's now to the right centre-half here of Shane Duffy, who is allowed to bring it forward. And he switches out to the left. It's a high ball towards Sainz. Can't quite control it. Won by Byron. Tackled by McLean. Cleared on halfway by Rodon. Up the field and straight into the gloves of Agnes Gunn. So we're 25 minutes in here, still 0-0, but Norwich certainly the better side so far. In the central area, Borja Sainz being tracked by Gurev. Has to go back to Duffy. And then Duffy forward to Stacey. Just inside the Norwich half. Back inside to Sainz. He's got Somerville chasing him behind. And he'll try and switch it out to the left there. And he finds Yanulis. Brilliant ball. It's now the Greek left back. Turns away from Nonso. McLean. Forward here to Sarah. In a central area. Switch out to the right is on. It's into a handful of space for Stacey, who cannot keep it in. Just gone out of play. Not a bad idea that from Sarah, but just a bit too far in front of Stacey, the right back, who lost his last championship playoff semi-final when he was at Bournemouth in the 2020-2021 season, where they were defeated by Brentford. This is his 50th appearance of the season for Jack Stacey, who's been ever present at right back for Norwich this season, the 28-year-old. Thanks to anyone who is here. If you have liked and subscribed, it is very much appreciated. As Melier takes the goal kick. It's a long one. It's up towards the left wing position where the head has been won there by Duffy, helped on by McLean. Kick forward by Sainz to Sarah. Comes off the hand of Gurev just in front of the halfway line, and that'll be a free kick for Norwich. I wouldn't say that was a purposeful handball. I think it just almost sprung off his hand there. Didn't know too much about it. As Norwich just restart with the possession in their own half now with Nunez. Being closed down by Ruta, but works it to his left to Gibson, who spent a bit of time out this season, from February through to March, but he's returned for the end of the season. And as mentioned before, making his 14th start in a row now. Duffy shows too much of the ball to Somerville, who slides in, and he works it to Ruta. Now to Nonto, running in towards the 18-yard box, but the slide tackle from Nunez is brilliant. Had to get it right, and he did. Wins the ball back for Norwich as Nonto looked to be in. And Norwich go long over the top of the Leeds defence towards Sargent. Melier's out of his goal and he lets it go into his box so he can use his hands to collect the ball. But that ball always seems on for Norwich when they pick it up in the right area. Leeds like to push up the pitch. And Sargent's had a few chances where he's been able to run in behind, but none of them have reached him yet. Leeds have it in their own half at the moment. Right centre-back of Joe Rodon. Sat between the two centre-backs is Glenn Kamara. Rodon. It's now Kamara. Gurev out to the left centre-half area of Ampadu, who will bring it forward into the Norwich half, playing the pass to Firpo. Not got a lot on here as he drives inside. And he has to go back into his own half here to Gurev. Rodon in the centre circle. 10-yard pass to his right here to Kamara. Looking for the next pass. Goes forward to Ruta. Back to goal, so returns it to Kamara. Bit of possession here for Leeds United, who have been under the cosh for pretty much the last 20 minutes of this game. They've had little sights at goal themselves, but nothing too major. It's back with the Leeds goalkeeper midway inside his own half here with Elon Melier. Gurev to his right to Rodon. I think Norwich are just recollecting their energy here, making sure they don't tire too quickly. Just letting Leeds have a bit of the ball here, as they've been forced to the goalkeeper Melier on the edge of the box. Sargent's pressing him, but he can work it to the left here to Ampadu. Forward to Firpo. Inside to Kamara. Forward here. Great football from Leeds United. Nonto tackle, but it works its way to Firpo, who tries the 1-2 with Nonto. Ball through to Ruta. Instead, he goes beyond the goalkeeper, and Firpo's in! He finishes, but the flag's gone up. There's an offside. Leeds had the ball in the net with Junior Firpo. Came about rather fortunately there. Good football. Nonto was tackled, but it dropped to Firpo, who returned it to Nonto, and then he played a ball through for Ruta, who was obviously the one chasing it, and he forced the error from Duffy, who kicked it away from his goalkeeper through for Firpo. But was Ruta offside? That is close. I'm not too sure, to be honest. So Leeds have had the first goal, but it's not stood. An offside from Ruta in the build-up. That is very close. I'm not sure, to be honest, as Jack Stacey gives the ball away too easily. It's now with Nonto on the ball. Midway side zone half in a central area. It goes back to Rodon. Then out wide right to Byram. Just inside his own half. Definitely need another replay of that one. I'm not sure if Ruta was offside there, to be completely honest. But Norwich get away with it. It's the first time there where Leeds have really played the ball, fluently through the Norwich side. Nonto, brilliant skill to turn away from two Norwich players and clips it out wide right towards Byram, just over his head. And a Norwich throw-in. Surely they've got to show another replay of that offside. No, they're not. We'll have to just wait and see till half-time. Big call from the assistant referee there because, like I say, Leeds have struggled a lot in this game. Norwich have started off really well. Yeah, thank you to everyone who is here and who's liking as well. Really does help the channel grow as Yanulis at left back has it. He's got Byram in front of him. His pass is poor. Deflects back to him though, Rodon. And then into the middle of the park here to Sargent. Then out wide right to the right back. Stacey, who loves to get forward. Loads of room to run into. No one's going towards him. Stacey on the edge of the box. Goes to the far post towards Sainz. It's over here. And out of play it goes for a throw-in right next to the corner flag. On this near side. Not his best delivery by Jack Stacey, who's featured in every championship game this season. For Norwich, brought in the summer from Bournemouth. Started both games against Leeds this season in the league. As is Byram. With the throw-in. That is who replaced Byram. Stacey came in to Norwich to replace Byram, who left for Leeds. As Ruta can't keep possession. Byram touches it out of play. Norwich throwing inside the Leeds half on the near side with a left back, Dimitros Yanulis. Not scored yet for Norwich. The left back, he's been at the club since July 2021 permanently, but he did join on a loan spell in the January of 2021. Last goal came for the club he signed from. That's Pauk. There's McLean. Ball through out the right hand side. Stacey tries to keep it in here, and he will. Right next to the corner flag and goes back to Rowe. Takes on Firpo, tripped by Firpo, and that'll be a free kick for Norwich. The Dominican Republic international knows that he's just timed that one incorrectly. I mean, it is very scary to see a winger like Jonathan Rowe run at you. And just really nice bit of skill. Touching it past Firpo, being tripped by the Leeds number 3. And this is an opportunity for Norwich. Like I say, it's on the right wing here, so angle's not great for a shot. But a good opportunity to get across in the box here. As it'll be taken by Gabriel Sara. I think Duffy's pointing towards the edge of the box there. Don't know if that's going to be an indication of where this ball goes. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it is Leeds to do some defending as they've just had a goal disallowed for offside. Sara delivers in. It's a header won at the near post by Gray. Drops to the edge of the area towards Sainz, who can't catch the volley. He's been tackled by Kamara. Then he's been tackled as well. It drops out to the right back area to Ruta, who can take on two Norwich players, tripped eventually. And he wins a free kick for his side there. Good defending in the end there by Jorginho Ruta. Former France under-21 international. Like I say, Jorginho Ruta definitely had a big drop-off at the end of this season in terms of his numbers, with goals and assists drying up. It's interesting with Leeds because obviously they've been conceding a lot of goals recently, something they hadn't been doing all season. And they had a run of 10 clean sheets in 13 championship games from January to March, but now they're on a run of just 1 clean sheet in their last 8. So definitely see where the problems lie. They've just struggled defensively. The goals haven't necessarily dried up because we've had Somerville scoring goals Nonto also scoring. His last was against Middlesbrough in a 4-3 away win. Making his 5th start in a row as well, Nonto. Obviously, proven to be a better option for Farker ahead of the likes of Dan James. As Gunn, the goalkeeper, sends it to the halfway line. Sargent's touch is poor, gives it to Gruev. He restarts for Leeds with the goalkeeper of Elon Melier in the 18-yard box. 10 minutes until half-time. Still goalless here, despite that Leeds disallowed goal about 5 minutes ago. An offside in the build-up on Ruta as Firpo played it into an open goal as there was an error between Duffy and Gunn. Near side here with Byron back into his own half to Rodon. Across the number 44 of Ilya Gruev, who signed a 4-year deal here at Leeds when joining in the summer. Ampadu forward to Nonto, out wide left to Firpo, midway inside the Norwich half, feeds the ball inside to Somerville. 1-2 with Nonto. Somerville can get away from Duffy in the box, angles tight. Can he cut it back? No, he can't. He overhits the touch. And harder play for a goal kick. That could have been a little opening there for Leeds United with Somerville, their number 10, their main man this season. 17 league goals for Somerville. 4 goals in his last 8. He would have had to have been the provider there because, like I said, the angle was very tight as he went towards the byline, but he couldn't quite work the crossing in the end, overran it with his touch. But it's crazy how far forward the top 4 teams were this season in terms of points. Leeds finished on 90, Norwich finished on 73. A 17-point gap difference between 7th and 3rd. A 6th and 3rd. Absolutely crazy. As Leeds have won it back and Nonto attacks. Plays it into the runner Kamara, who pulls it back, but it's blocked off by McLean, who's looking for Somerville. Well dealt with there by the Norwich captain, who completes a 1-2 with Yanulis, but the touch isn't great, but he can touch it back to Yanulis. Ball inside to Sargent. Switches out to the right towards Stacey, who will keep it in on that far side. And he crosses the halfway line with the ball. And he'll keep moving forward with it. There's no one's coming to close him down. Goes back here into Nunez on halfway. And Leeds have got everyone behind the ball now. But, like I said, commentating on the second leg, which is Thursday night, so make sure you return here for that. There's Norwich give it away. Yanulis, not a great ball into his left winger of Borja Sainz. But for Yanulis, he's been out with a hamstring injury. He missed the last 9 games before returning back to the squad for that Birmingham game on the last day of the season. It's his first start for Norwich since the start of March, which was against Middlesbrough. So thrown into quite a big game ahead of Sam McCallum, who is on the bench for Norwich. Their backup left back, who's had to fill in for the end of the season. Leeds on the ball, halfway line with Byron. The right back, plenty of time on the ball for the number 25. Making his 4th start in a row. Sam Byron. It's Connor Roberts has returned to the bench for Leeds. Brought in on loan from Burnley in January, the Welsh right back. Almost got a full Welsh back 4 Leeds with Roberts, Rodon and Ampadu. Obviously Roberts on the bench. His free kick on halfway, far side for Leeds. Just a foul there by Stacey on Firpo. So we are getting closer to half time here. And Norwich definitely had a very solid 25 minutes, but it's just dried up a little bit. Leeds have clawed themselves back into the game. That's Firpo down the line for Somerville, flicks it to Gray, back to Somerville. It's brilliant football. Somerville in the box on the left-hand side, pulls it back towards Nonto, cleared by Yanulis. It's now on halfway with Rodon. Lifts it to the left centre half of Ampadu, who will keep it in play. And he finds Kamara, allowed to turn and play forward. Goes out to the left to Firpo. Great. Can't go down the line. Tackled by Stacey. Throw in for Leeds. They are starting to work it nicely though, Leeds. Finding Somerville in those dangerous pockets of space in the final third. But his touches just haven't quite been with him in this first half. But I'm sure he'll get his opportunity. Scored twice here. Somerville in the Leeds comeback when Norwich were winning 2-0 against Leeds when these two sides last met here at Carrow Road, but Leeds turned it around in that second half. An own goal from Duffy and then 2 goals from Somerville late on. Somerville tries to take it away from Nunez, can't, but the ball deflects to Gray. So Leeds still have it in the Norwich half. It's in the centre circle with Rodon. Just over 5 minutes left to play. Byram forced to go back as he nearly ran into Borja Sainz. It's now with Rodon across to Ampadu. Forward to Kamara, just in front of the halfway line for Leeds United. Can't really advance forward as he had Gabriel Sara in front of him. Gruev. Out to the left to Kamara. Time on the ball here for the former Rangers midfielder. Well, Norwich allowing him to advance because his pass isn't great. Picked up by Rowe. He lifts it to the right here to Sara. Counter could be on. Down the right-hand side for Norwich. Holds it up, slips, but back to his feet he gets. And he's got Kamara, he's trying to shrug off. Ball's a bit loose here and it's bouncing around. And Firpo eventually loses out to Jonathan Rowe, who he's tripped by Gray. And that'll be a free kick in the end for Norwich. That was very scrappy in the midfield, but it's Norwich who come out on top. Jonathan Rowe having his breakout season this season. He only featured 3 times last season for Norwich, all in the last 5 games of the season off the bench. But he's broke into the first team. He's got 12 goals this season. His last coming in January, but he has been injured for a couple of months, just returning in the last month of the season. So a chance for a Norwich delivery before the break. The Leeds line on the edge of the box as it's delivered in towards the far post. Yanulis is all alone. It will drop towards him. He'll cross it off Gruev. He'll bounce and he'll stay in with the spin. And Gibson goes back here to Nunez. Norwich can try and continue this attack here. Ball drilled out to the left. It's a brilliant pass. Yanulis, low ball in, deflects off McLean. Sights on the edge of the area, on his right foot. Thought about the shot, but not really on for him. So goes back to Nunez. Then in behind for Rowe. Meslier comes out and catches. Really good goalkeeping there to read the plate by Meslier. Just relieves the pressure for Leeds there because I don't think, well, no team wants to concede, but I don't think any of these teams want to concede before half-time. That is for sure. And Nonto down the right flank here for Gray, who nearly gets the better there of Nunez. Last touch does come off the Chilean, so it will be a throw-in for Leeds, midway inside the Norwich half, on this near side. It's thrown down the line by Byram to Gray, tackle, but drops back to Leeds. It's now with Nonto in the right-wing position. Tries to find Ruter on the edge of the box, dealt with by Gibson. Drops to Sara. Kamara tries to tackle him. He does tackle him, but illegally. It'll be a free kick inside the Norwich half for the home team, given by the referee Josh Smith. But the officials in this first half have not given a Leeds penalty, which to me looked like a penalty in the 6th minute. They then disallowed a Leeds goal for a possible offside around the half an hour mark, which I thought was a little bit tight for an offside call. Definitely arguments that could be onside. We'll have to look at half time. There's Norwich have got the ball in their own half here with Nunez not being pressed here at the moment. It's now Rowe. Back it goes into the number 24, Shane Duffy. Big ball out to the left, but no runs been made there by Sainz. And it's fired straight out of play there. For a Leeds goal kick, 90 seconds and a half to play. I don't know who'll be the happier side here. Because Norwich, with their domination they had, about, from around the 5th minute through to about the half an hour mark, they probably felt like they should have maybe tried to have scored. But Leeds have also got a grip of the game. They've got back into it. So I think it might be Daniel Farke who's the most happiest side, because he's not conceded his side. His side have scored. I know it didn't stand in the end, and they've also had a penalty ruled out. But coming here away from home, a very difficult place to come to. Norwich unbeaten in their last 15 at home. And they've just about stayed in it at 0-0 for now. As Yanulis, the Norwich left-back, clears forward to the halfway line. Diving headed by Gruev to win it back for Leeds. Byram forward for Nonto. Tackled well by Yanulis. That'll be a throw-in for Leeds United. Thrown back to the halfway line here to Rodon. Across to Ampadu. Well inside his own half here. Leeds need to be careful they don't give it away, and they won't. Finding the left back of Firpo. Into Kamara. Going back to the number 4 of Ethan Ampadu. Big switch out to the right. It'll be kept in by Byron with the header. It's a looping header, dealt with by Yanulis, who's fouled by Nonto as he won the aerial duel. As we've played 45 minutes, and Nonto yellow carded for sarcastically clapping at the referee for giving the free kick against him. I mean, Nonto's not going for the ball and he just tries to shoulder into Yanulis and knock him off balance. It's a clear free kick. You know, if Nonto was looking like he was trying to get the ball, then maybe the foul wouldn't have gone against him. But you could clearly see he had no intention of winning the ball. He just wanted to knock Yanulis off balance. And then for his sarcastic clap, he's been booked by the referee, who's having none of that. So 1 minute added on. We played 40 seconds of it. Free kick for Norwich, headed away by Byron. And it's a throw in here for Norwich City. It looks like we're going to be going in at 0-0 here. Thrown back to the halfway line to Gibson. On this near side. Lifted forward towards Sargent. Headed in the air by Rodon. Headed up forward by Nunez. Then dealt with by Gruev. And that will be the half-time whistle by the referee, Josh Smith. And we're all square here at Carrow Road. Norwich City 0. Leeds United 0. After the opening 45 minutes, it's been a positive half for Norwich, who have had spells in the game where they've looked dangerous and they put Leeds on the back foot, but altogether Leeds, as the away side, have dealt with that pressure and have got themselves at 0-0 here. They had a penalty waved away in the 6th minute. Leeds United, as it was Nonso brought down in the box by Borja Sainz. To me, it looked like a penalty. It looked in the box, but the referee had a different view of it. And then Leeds, about half an hour in, after dealing with the Norwich City pressure, where they were having a lot of the ball and getting a lot of joy in the Leeds half, they had a goal ruled out. Good football on the halfway line. It was played through to Ruta, who chased down on goal. And the goalkeeper came for it, but Duffy decided to try and deal with it himself, poking it away from the goalkeeper through to Firpo, who'd got forward from left back, and he had an easy finish into the empty goal. But as the ball was played through by, I think it was Somerville, through to Ruta, Ruta was deemed to be offside because he was the one who was involved in the play, because Ruta was chasing the ball down, which forced Duffy into the mistake to kick it towards goal away from his goalkeeper for an easy finish for Firpo and into an empty goal. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if Ruta was definitely offside. It was close as the ball was played through. But despite Norwich probably looking the better side at times, it's Leeds who possibly should be ahead. And at half-time at Carrow Road, it's Norwich 0, Leeds 0. Yeah, interesting one, because I feel like Norwich has looked the better side, but they've not really done a lot to worry Elon Mele in the Leeds goal. And Leeds have at times looked quite frantic, but they've probably had the better chances. Like I say, with that penalty shout in the 6th minute, and then that disallowed goal in around the half an hour mark, which again, at half time, I'm presuming they will show a replay, so we'll have a closer look at it to see if the goal was rightly disallowed, because if not, that's a huge mistake, because, you know, Leeds aren't in great form at the moment, as we know, 2 wins from their last 8. So if they can try and take a positive result here to Ellen Road for Thursday, you know, if they could win this game, then that would put them in the best of positions to go on and reach the playoff final. But as we mentioned before, this is the Leeds' 6th attempt in the playoffs, and they've never been promoted. So historically, it's not really something they like to play in, Leeds United, the playoffs, but it's what they're going to have to deal with at the moment. Reece James back for Chelsea. Yeah, he was back yesterday, which was, I mean, was great to see for him. See if he can maybe make a late push for the England squad for the Euros, maybe, if he gets fit enough. We'll have to, we'll definitely have to wait and see. But I think Leeds will have questions of that offside decision Just waiting for the replay to be shown here because for me, I thought Ruta was just onside. I mean, in fairness, I'm usually quite good at calling on onsides and offsides, but in the two commentaries I did when Aston Villa played Olympiacos, I think there was 3 offside shouts for 3 Olympiacos goals, and every time I said he was offside, it was El Kaabi, the man who scored the hat-trick in the brace in those 2 legs. Yeah, for 3 of his goals, I said he was offside, and then for all 3, he was actually onside. So I almost need to just give up having a guess, really, of calling offsides, because, yeah, I've not been getting them correct recently, but I did think he was on there. Well, apparently not. I was at the Old Firm yesterday, were you? Interesting. Yeah, Celtic won, didn't they? Pretty much wrapped up the league under Brendan Rodgers in his first season back at Celtic. But if you have got any comments you want to make, anything you want to mention in the chat, then please do now, because we can have a chat about it if you've got anything you'd like to say. As the other semi-final, West Brom Southampton does kick off at 2:15, so that'll be an interesting watch as well, as West Brom finished 12 points behind Southampton in the end, the 4th and 5th place teams in the Championship this season. So, as they show some replays here, they're showing a Sargent chance in the 15th minute. His header from 6 yards out, but headed it so far wide there, Sargent. That's really poor from him, who's got 16 goals this season, the American, Josh Sargent. 2 in his last 7, but suffered an ankle injury from September to December. So he's actually he's scored 16 goals in just 26 Championship appearances this season. So when he has played, Sargent, he's been in the goals more often than not. And yeah, that Sargent header just isn't great at all. You could see the way when Sargent was going up for the header and the way he glanced it towards the far corner, you could just tell he just directed it too far away from goal. He needed to just head that ball a little bit more straight. But still not showing the penalty shout or the offside claim yet, which is frustrating because I just want to have a quick look to see. Like I say, if you do leave for half time, make sure you do return for the second half. Again, showing the header. Why are they showing the header so many times? I don't understand. Like, they've shown it like 5 times now. Like it was a header from 6 yards out that he put really far wide of the goal. I don't know what there is to really show, to be honest. As the second half will be getting underway in around 5 minutes' time. But 0-0 here at Carrow Road. First goal could be important in this game, because if Leeds get it, they've got something to protect, and if Norwich get it, they might try and go on and score a couple more to really get themselves an advantage into that second leg away from home on Thursday night. So they spent half time just looking at that Sargent header. That is absolutely balmy. There's been a big penalty shout for Leeds. They've had a goal that's been disallowed for offside, which looks pretty close. But no, we'll show 5 minutes of replays of Josh Sargent missing a header from 6 yards out. What? Oh, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Right, well, we'll never know then. I thought it could have been a penalty, that first one in the 6th minute, and then I thought that offside call was pretty close, but what on earth do I know? What do I know? Seriously. That is poor. Let's see if Twitter are saying anything about it. Because I thought that was two big calls there. It's almost like as well. It's a little bit of neither of the two teams want to give too much away, because if they make a mistake, or not even make a mistake, if they just show too much weakness, then that can maybe spur the other team on. So I think both teams will try to play a bit clean, some nice passes to try and really just show the other team that they're feeling control, that they can make something of the game. Because if you misplacing too many passes or looking nervy, then that can spur the other team on. Because that's why Norwich had that decent little spell midway inside that first half. Because Leeds were just looking a little bit all over the place, a few misplaced passes and stuff like that. So, and they were able to change that in the end. They were able to play a little bit better at the back end of that second half. But the second half will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time, so make sure you don't go anywhere now. Make sure you stick around for this second half. Yeah, I'm having a look at this offside. It's so tight, that router. It's Yanulis who's just playing a little bit deeper than the Norwich back line. I think Nonto's the one who played the ball through. That is a tight call for me. The camera angle isn't great. I'm using a TV remote here to try and see if this was offside or not. From my TV remote VAR, he might have just been offside. But can you trust me using this remote as a line on a screen on a picture taken from a TV? I don't really know. But he may have just been. It's close. That's how close it is, though. And I'm surprised they've not had a look at it at half time. A bit of analysis maybe on something more than just a header at goal. There is no VAR, so we'll never know. But I think it would have been worth a look at by the pundits at half time. But like I said, for some reason they fixated on that Sargent header in the 15th minute, which was just a bit strange. But what can you do? Wow, Jimbo, another donation. Seriously, mate, your support is absolutely incredible. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. I really appreciate that donation once again. And like we said, there is no VAR. There might be VAR at the final, but I'm not too sure. There's definitely no VAR in the semi-finals. I know that for sure. But there might be VAR in the final. I'm pretty sure there is. So, it'll be a different ball game at Wembley. They'll be able to check those kind of calls. But at the moment, they've got one look at it and they've got to get it right. And, it might have just have been the right call. Just. But, from the naked eye, you can't tell if the decision is right or wrong. As the two sets of players here arrive at the Hawthorns for the other semi-final. As West Brom take on Southampton. Be a bit of a cagey first half, but I definitely think both sides had moments where they were able to show exactly what they can do. You do a great job, much better than those watch-alongs. I do appreciate that a lot. I really do appreciate that, because that obviously is where there is a little bit of competition with my content. So many watch-alongs these days. It is absolutely crazy. It feels like everyone does them. And I personally, this is just, my opinion, I don't necessarily enjoy them. I don't mind the ones where there's more than one person, because then there's almost like a little bit, there's conversations involved and all that. But for example, I do like Mark Goldbridge. I think he's quite funny. But I can't find his watch-alongs that exciting, just because he's on his own and he's just talking with chat. I personally just don't enjoy that kind of content. So obviously lots of people do, so it's probably a bit of an unpopular opinion, but yeah, no, I do appreciate that. These are different to watch-alongs though. Even though I am watching the game, this is live commentary. The watch-alongs aren't commentaries, are they? They are literally watching the game, and you have kind of conversation. So it is different kind of types of content, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it? We're both watching the game. But I do appreciate the support. It will help me continue to do this channel for as long as possible, which is exactly what I want to be doing. As the Norwich starting 11 is returning back to the field of play here for this second 45 minutes. I feel like it's definitely a game that is there for the taking for both. It wouldn't surprise me if this game goes either way. If Norwich go and take it, I wouldn't be overly surprised. If Leeds couldn't go and nick it, again, I wouldn't be too surprised, because when they've been able to play the ball and play football, they've looked really smooth in possession, Leeds United. It's not happened many times, but the couple of occasions it has, it's really worked out for them. I wish the algorithm would allow to reach more. Yeah, the algorithm can be a bit annoying sometimes, but hopefully we can get those people who were in for the first half and get them back in for the second half, because at one point in that first half we had 40 people at one point, so hopefully they can return for the second half. So, for the second 45 minutes of this first leg here at Carrow Road, it'll be Norwich to kick off, kicking left to right. Leeds right to left it. It's all to play for. Of course, we've still got another leg to go, but if a team can get their noses in front for that second leg, it could really change the pattern that could take place in that second leg. If it's 0-0 going into that second leg, then it's probably more of the same. But if a team takes the lead, then we might have to get both of these sides having a bit of a different outlook at the game, maybe setting up differently. We'll have to wait and see. But we are back underway. Norwich with the ball. They've decided to not go long from the kick-off. They've kept it short, and it's Gibson down the left flank here to Sainz. Keeps it to Gibson, being closed down by Ruta, so Gibson forced to go long and down the line and towards no one in a yellow shirt. And that will be into the hands of Elon Meslier in the Leeds United goal. Poor giveaway altogether there by Norwich. As Ampadu from left centre-back bringing it forward and finding the pass to Firpo on halfway. Looking inside for the ball, well cut out by Jonathan Rowe. So throwing for Leeds United with Junior Firpo, the former Barcelona left-back. It's now Meslier as Leeds restart from their goalkeeper. It's Rodon. Down the right side here to Byron. Into the midfield to Gruev. Back to Rodon. Has to chase the ball down, but keeps it away from Sargent. And it goes to Meslier. Takes his time with the clearance. He goes long up towards Ruta. Well won header there by Duffy. Can't be kept by Sainz as Archie Gray wins it back. And Gruev forward to Nonso, who's bundled to the ground, but he gets back up, and then a foul goes against him. Goes for him there, Nonso. As he was just fouled there by Sainz. Sainz went down. Like I said, Nonto got back up and then got round Sainz. And Nonto was just using his arm there to try and shrug off Sainz. And Sainz was making out like he's just been strangled or something. It's just so soft. Nonto's put his arm across him, just a little hand into the neck. Nothing too serious at all. But the play was pulled back for the first foul on Nonto anyway. So it's Leeds with the ball in the Norwich half on that far side. Nonto has it, flicks it forward for Gray, who will chase it down towards the corner flag. McLean will get there for Norwich. He can't see it out for a goal kick, kept in by Gray, but eventually cleared by McLean. Looking for Sargent, pulled down by Gurev, nothing given by the referee. It's on the halfway line with Ampadu. It's now the left back Firpo inside to Kamara. It's now Somerville. Keeps the ball away here from Sara. And there's a ball out wide available for Byram. Lifted out to him, and he's not able to keep it in. Just overcooked that slightly there, Somerville. It's probably an easier ball than he made it look like there, to be honest. Just like I said, just put too much power on it there. A lot of focus on Josh Sargent from Sky Sports, which is confusing me. Obviously, he's had balls played in behind him in this first half, but none of them really coming off. Just all of them overhit, really. As McLean volleys away for Norwich up to the halfway line. Touchdown by Sargent, but all as far as Junior Firpo for Leeds. He's got Kamara in front of him. Finds Kamara, who's been closed down here by Stacey. Pushed to the ground by Stacey. Free kick for Leeds United. Just a push in the back there. Well won by Glenn Kamara, the number 8. Won 2 trophies at Rangers. Glenn Kamara signed for £50,000 for Rangers and then sold for 5.5 to Leeds, so 5.5 million to Leeds. So it's a very good bit of business there by Rangers. Gurev in the centre circle, forward to Archie Gray, tackled by Duffy, drops for Rowe. Gray tries to win it back. Rowe keeps it away from him and sends it over the top down the left hand side for Sainz. Brilliant touch in front of him. He's away from Byram and then the recovery. Byram slides in and wins the ball. Superb defending from the Leeds fullback. And he had to get back in there. Brilliant ball from Rowe, who turned away from Gray on the halfway line and in behind, down the left-hand side for Sainz. His first touch wasn't bad. Second one didn't really get it out of his feet. And Byram, who had to get back because Sainz had got in front of him, slid across and got the ball away. But Norwich still attack. Sainz with the cross in towards Rowe, headed away by Firpo. And in the left-back position, it will be collected here by Kamara, who clears it for Leeds United. Up towards halfway, headed forward by Duffy, but straight to Archie Gray for Leeds United, who needs to get his head up here. Keeps it simple and goes back into Gurev. Brings it forward into the Norwich half now. It's now Ampadu into Kamara on the halfway line. Comes out to this near side to Firpo. And then back to Ampadu again for Leeds. Just 2 wins in their last 6 on their travels. Leeds United, those wins against Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough. It's Elon Mellier on the ball. Tries to go to the right to Rodon, but he goes behind the centre half, and it's another cheap throw-in to give away there, Leeds United. It's not the first time they've done that. Sainz from the left wing on his right foot, try to drive forward, tackle by Kamara. And then it's now with Nonto, forward to Somerville, touches it in for Kamara, late one on Somerville, but play will continue. The referee will play advantage. That'll definitely be pulled back. That's a dangerous one on Somerville. Ruta down the left wing position, running at Stacey. On the outside, in the box, Ruta with it, towards the byline, tackle by Stacey, last touch off Ruta. And that'll be a goal kick for the home side. And Somerville stayed down here. Not a good look for Leeds United. That is definitely a rightly given yellow card by the referee there. Shane Duffy with a late one on Somerville. Just had his back to goal and just took him out from behind there. Like I say, a bit of an ugly challenge there from Shane Duffy. And hopefully Somerville can get back to his feet and can continue. Do you think Leeds are just playing like it's all about the second leg and just happy to get back to it? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they're playing for a draw. I do genuinely think they're playing to win. But if they draw, they wouldn't be displeased with that result. I definitely think there's a bit of a factor of not wanting to concede, but it's not like they're not trying to score. They are trying to get in front in the game, but like you say there, 100%, if this game ends a draw, I think Leeds will be delighted with that. Take it back to Ellen Road and it'll be advantage to Leeds, just mainly due to the fact that they'll be playing at home. They've only lost twice at home this season in the league. So, yeah, I wouldn't say they're just playing for a draw. They are looking to score, but again, I think definitely in the back of their minds, they are thinking, if it does end a draw, then we'll definitely take that and we'll be happy with it. Back underway, Somerville back to his feet on the touchline there, so he'll be reintroduced shortly by the referee. It's good to see he's back to his feet because you never want to see a player get injured in the playoffs. Somerville is back on the field of play. McLean, long ball over the top, down the left-hand side. Flag stays down, pulled back by Yanulis. Looks for Sarah and he can't quite get it on target. Just a little bit behind him there, Sarah, so he almost had to just drag the ball from behind him towards goal, and that's where the conviction lacked in the shot. Difficult one for him. Yanulis pulling it back across the box, just a bit too far behind him. If that was in front of him, it could be a different story. But it's a bit more direct from Norwich. Long ball down the left-hand side by McLean. Nothing resulted in it in the end as Melier sends a long ball forward towards Ruta. Header won by Duffy. Chest down by Kamara to Gray, then back to the halfway line to Firpo, who can control it well. Kamara trying to take on one too many Norwich players and he's been tackled by Nunez. Forward to Sargent. Just can't quite get it under control. Rodon deals with the ball. It's now on the right wing with Nonto. Goes back here to Byron. But as Nonto released it, he was caught late there by Dimitros Yanulis, who's not happy with Nonto going down the way he has. But yellow card's coming out for fun now. Yeah, just a little bit of a challenge over the top there. Slightly over the top there by Yanulis, with the studs catching the right knee of Nonto. Definitely caught him, that's for sure. He's a bit over the top, to be fair. I always like to see a team play to win. If you try to overthink, you'll 100%. That's definitely a thing in football. If you almost fixate too much on trying not to lose, you almost are more likely to lose because it's in your mind. Just try to avoid defeat. But if you try and be a bit more positive and look to win, then usually you can pick up a better result. Nonto right wing, driving into the box, tackled. It deflects away though, and it's Somerville who finds Ruta. Poor touch, really poor touch. Cleared on the edge of the box there by Gibson. But only as far as Leeds on the halfway, where they've worked it to the near side to Firpo. Restarts here with Ampadu. Hit the like button, certainly hit the like button if you are new and you haven't already. That would really help the channel out. You can become a member as well, £5 a month. Get a weekly members podcast only every Friday morning. And it does just help the channel out in general. As Leeds have lost the ball there, gone out of play. Norwich now have it in their back line with Gibson. Quick 1-2 there with Sainz, who's just dropped into a more holding midfield position here, the number 7. It's now Nunez. Ball forward, high one, out towards the left side, but Byram will easily chest that down. No one was near him there, challenging him for the ball. It's now Firpo, just behind the halfway line for Leeds United. Goes back here to Ampadu. He'll be closed down by Sarah. Not quite been involved too much today. Sarah for Norwich as he's closing down Melier and almost nicks it off him, in fairness. Rodon takes on Sargent. That's risky, but it works. And Leeds just about keep possession in their back line here. 11 minutes after the restart. We're still 0-0 here. Firpo down the left-hand side for Somerville, and it works. Gets to him in the box. Angles tight. Pulls it back. Kamara back to goal. Still has it, Kamara. Lays it off for Somerville in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Somerville back out to Kamara. Slips it through for Firpo. Delivery goes into the near post, and it's well held there by Gunn. No one quite making that run towards that near post for Leeds United. Well worked though between the likes of Somerville, Kamara and Firpo, who breached the Norwich back line. And the cross actually deflected off Duffy into the gloves of Gunn in the end. Sargent loses out. Gruev takes it away. Out to the right to Nonto, quite far from goal. So the cross is the only real opportunity of trying to score. He's going to go on his own instead and he overruns it. But the clearance drops to Kamara, 22 yards out on his left foot. Thought about the shot, won't play it. Feeds it to Firpo instead, who just about keeps it in and crosses in. It's the header that's not dealt with very well. Somerville with the left-footed shot to the near post. And Agnes Gunn's equal to it. Poor header away there by Duffy, which led the ball to drop to the feet of Somerville. Couldn't quite work the shot past the goalkeeper in the end. Cross goes in. It's a bit of a deeper one this time. Punched away by Gunn. And it's Gruev who won't beat Sainz to it. Sainz will try and go on his own here. Archie Gray's last man back for Leeds, and Archie Gray deals with it. And plays it down the line to Kamara in loads of space. He enters the box on the right-hand side, pulls it back. Gray with the touch, it's heavy. Deflects to Kamara, pulls it back. Byron miskicks it. And it's Jonathan Rowe to bring it away for Norwich, pulled back by Byron. And that'll be a free kick for Norwich, and the pressure just about dealt with. Such a good ball by Gray to Kamara, and he returned it to Gray, but the touch from the 18-year-old was just too heavy. He was tackled by Sargent, who could only work it to Kamara, and then the pull back to Byron about 14 yards out. Swung at it, completely missed it. And it still remains 0-0 here in this very cagey semi-final first leg. Just over half an hour left to play here. I think they're just showing a replay of that Byron miss kick there. I think. What are they showing? Oh yeah, they are showing a replay, I was going to say. So we're just over half an hour to play. Norwich are going to make a change. Jonathan Rowe making his first start since his return from injury. He's only come back for the last 4 games where he has had to come off the bench. This time he started. Obviously returning from an injury, don't want to risk him too much. They want him fit for the second leg, so he will be replaced by the Swiss right winger of Christian Fasnacht, brought in from Young Boys in the summer. 6 goals this season, his last in mid-February against Cardiff. Did miss that last game against Birmingham, but he's back on the bench and he's now on the pitch for Norwich as it's a throw-in for Norwich on the near side, just behind the halfway line with Jack Stacey. So first roll of the dice by the 2 coaches, and it's gone Norwich who are making the change. Stacey takes the throw in to Nunez. Down the line. Brilliant balls. Now Stacey. What in the 1-2. Can't quite complete the 1-2 there with Fasnacht. It's now with Ampadu at the back for Leeds. Restarted in the 18-yard box with Melier. Goes long with his left foot. Up towards Nonto, loses out to Yanulis. Chests it down for Sainz. Forward for Sargent. Tackled well by Ampadu. Loose ball drops towards Sarah, who just loses out there. Nonto takes it off him. Nonto goes down over the challenge of Sainz. And that'll be a free kick for Leeds United. And it looks like Nonto may have just been caught in the face there with a Sainz stud. Would have been completely accidental, as Nonto did well to win the ball there. I mean, Ampadu with the first big tackle. And then Gruev with the second, and Nonto just winning the foul there. How do you watch the match? I watch it on my TV through Sky Sports. It's just a subscription. Nothing, no secrets, unfortunately. So still no Leeds changes. They have got plenty of attacking options to bring on. 3 strikers they've got on the bench of Joe Piru, Matteo Joseph and Joe Gelhardt. They've got 2 wingers of Jaden Anthony and Dan James. Then defensive options with Connor Roberts, Jamie Shackleton, and usual club captain Liam Cooper. So a bit of a stoppage here for Nonto. Did look like he just got caught in the face with the Saints boot as he fell to the ground. Again, completely accidental here. So in fairness, Leeds might be forced into their first change. They're not really showing anything, which is a little bit worrying here. Hopefully nothing's happened to Nonto after the Saints boot in the face. Hopefully it's just not a stud in the eye. No, he's up to his feet here. It's actually his head he's holding. That's good. He avoided the eye. It looks like Nonto will be okay to continue. Just a stud on the forehead here. Saints was a very apologetic, in fairness, as soon as it happened. Like I say, Saints just tried to win the ball. And as Nonto fell to the ground there, his boot just caught the top of his head. And straight away, Saints apologised. It was accidental. It was definitely not on purpose, that is for sure. So Nonto back to his feet. He'll just have to come off this touchline at the moment and then be reintroduced by the referee. So it's a good job that Nonto's okay, because like I say, you never want injuries in playoffs. You know, players' whole seasons finish at this point. You don't want it to end too soon. Don't want it to end early. As the free kick is taken in the right back position up towards Ruter up front. Gray wins the seconds, but then it can't quite drop to Ruter on the edge of the area. It's now with the right back, Stacey. Still 0-0 here at Carrow Road. Fastnat, heavy touch, but Kamara can't keep it for Leeds. It's a bad giveaway, really. Now Nunez to the left there, to Saints. On once more to Yanulis, the left back for Norwich. In the final third, running at Byram. Crossing towards Sargent, beyond him and headed away by Firpo. Can't be kept by Sarah. It's now Nonto who's back on the field of play. And he shields the ball out for a throw-in for his side. Introduced back into the game then Nonto and defending again straight away. And it's Leeds with their goalkeeper Melier in the 18-yard box. Going to Ampadu. Into a more central area here to Gruev, who lets the ball run across, and it's just about moved away from Saints to Byram, who spins and clears down the line. It does work its way to Nonto, who can't quite get away from Yanulis. Good tackle by the Greek international, and Norwich can try and attack quickly. Down the left-hand side, ball into Sarah, in the box, left-hand side, lifts it in, Sargent flicks on, brought down by Fastnacht, but it's just away from him. And Firpo can deal with it. Almost dropping there for Norwich as Somerville finds Firpo pulled back by Fastnacht. And that'll be a free kick and a yellow card for the freshly introduced winger. And it's just frustrating there for Christian Fastnacht, because he had an opportunity in the box there to get a touch away and shoot, but then he's just been booked instead. With that pull back on Firpo to try and stop him adventuring into the Norwich half. Thank you to everyone who's still here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It does help the channel out. We are covering the second leg that's been played at Ellen Road on Thursday night. Kamara into Ruter, out wide left to Somerville in the final third. Back through for Kamara, but there's a flag up again. And it's a free kick for Norwich. Not many complaints from the Leeds players there, so they might have got that offside call right. As Leeds are going to make a double change here. Jaden Anthony and Joel Piru will come on shortly. I'm presuming Willie Nonto will be one of those changed then. Not quite sure who will be the second one. There's Norwich go long up towards Sargent. What a touch that is. In the box on the left-hand side. Rodon holding him up here. Sargent trying to shield the ball, but Rodon takes it off him. Brilliant defending by Rodon. Nonto forward for Rodon, who's made a marauding run forward, and he finds Ruta. Tries to slip it through. That is an awful pass. Intercepted by Gibson midway inside his own half here. And that is a strange ball by Ruta. He's in a really dry spell at the moment for goals and assists, and you can tell that his confidence may have dropped a little bit because that's just not a pass that was ever on for Ruta. There's Norwich attack down the right flank here with Sarah. Goes into a more central position here in the centre circle with McLean. McLean bringing in Gibson. Now Yanulis the left back. Can't go forward, so decides to go back to keep possession with Gibson. Then forward eventually to Sarah, brought down by Kamara. Free kick for Norwich. Quite far out, 30 yards or so out, so it would take some strike to score from, but maybe a good chance for a delivery in the box here. Sarah with a touch around the corner and tangle her legs with Kamara, brings him down. So a couple of players stood over this for Norwich City. Elon Melier setting up his wall here, the Frenchman. Sarah is stood over it with Nunez. Quite far out here. It'll take some strike. It'll be Nunez to take it on. It deflects towards the bottom right corner. And a couple of yards wide, but it will be a Norwich corner. Nunez just going for the power strike. Came off the back of Gruev. And set piece has been conceded here. Less than a quarter of the game to go here. We're still goalless, but the game is still available for both to win. It'll be a right-footed outswinger here from Nunez. Duffy's in there. Gibson also, so two centre-backs attacking this one. It's a low one to the near post, not dealt with by Firpo at the first time of asking, but he'll drive away with it now. It's actually Ruta, the one driving away and then playing it down the line, deflects off Sainz. He gets the crowd up for it. Good interception there to stop the quick Leeds counter. It's a throw in for them in a left-back position. As we're going to get this Leeds double change here. And Jorginho Ruta will come off. He's just not offered enough up there for Leeds. I know he's been named in the Championship Team of the Year and he's got really good stats, 6 goals, 15 assists. But these last couple of months, it's just not been good enough from him. Hence why Leeds have struggled to go over the line for the automatic promotion. And that's why they're in the playoffs. So Ruta off for Piru and Nonto replaced by Anthony. So 2 changes for Leeds. Their first 2 of the game coming in the 70th minute. Could they be the 2 difference makers for the away side, as Ruta is not happy about coming off, but I think he's brightly been substituted by Daniel Farker there to bring on Piru, who scored in his last game, that last day of the season against Southampton, which was a 2-1 defeat in the end. As Leeds have it, Firpo, bit of a heavy touch, but Kamara will take over. Tries to go inside, but it's good interception there by Nunez. It's a Leeds throw-in just in front of halfway. They throw it back into their own half here to Ethan Ampadu. Gurev. To this near side to Ampadu. Forward to Firpo. Into the midfield now. Brilliant ball to Kamara. A bit of time on the ball here and he'll switch out to the right. That is fantastic. Byron. Forward to Jaden Anthony. Will keep it in here. Right next to the corner flag. He works across into the box. It's a deep one. He'll drop to Firpo on the edge. Time on the ball. Goes to his right to Kamara. About 25 yards from goal. Somerville. To Firpo. Back inside to Kamara. It's now Somerville in a left wing position. Not really any space for him to run into, but he'll find a pass to Firpo. To the far post it goes. Kept in. Headed back. Oh, it's not been kept in. Apologies. just gone out of play there as Byram headed it towards the penalty spot. But the cross just swung out of play and then curled back in. So Gunn with the ball for Norwich. Forward to the halfway line. Sargent heads on here for Fastnacht. He'll be Ampadu to get there first. His touch isn't great, but he'll keep it in. He'll absolutely volley that ball forward, and he goes over the advertisement boards there, Ampadu. He quickly gets himself back on the field of play as Norwich try and work it down their left-hand side. The midway side, their own half here with Yanulis. Goes into their defensive third here to Gibson. Time on the ball here for the central midfielder. He will bring it forward ever so slightly. Leeds not wanting to press too much. Don't want to give any spaces away in behind. Gibson still has it. Down the line to Sainz, who tries the dummy, but it's intercepted instead. And Leeds can attack. Great. 1-2 with Anthony, who has it on the right wing. Can't really work across because Sarah's followed him all the way. Tries to win a throw in, Anthony, but no. Last touch off the Leeds United man. And a throw in right next to the corner flag for Norwich. Throw in to be taken by Yanulis. Gets the return from McLean. And Yanulis kicks it away from Gray. 1-2 again with McLean. And Yanulis dispossessed in the end by Piru. Finds Kamara. Works out wide right to Gruev, who keeps it in. Good turn from the Bulgarian. And he goes back towards the halfway line to Rodon. Well kept there by the Bulgarian. There's Kamara. Goes across the halfway line now to Ethan Ampadu. Back into Kamara. Norwich sat in a 4-4-2 shape at the moment as they defend. Gruev. Byram into Anthony. Can't quite return it to Byram. And he goes all the way back here to the halfway line to Rodon. Positive spell here for Leeds United. It's still 0-0. It's been a very cagey game. Very nervy. As you'd expect a playoff semi-final to be. Especially the first leg anyway. Neither team really wanting to give anything away at the moment. Anthony down the right-hand side here. Byram gets there ahead of Sainz, and he crosses the ball, and it's just gone over the head of Piru, though. And no one was attacking it at the far post. And Stacey can clear down the line for Norwich. It's a curling one. It'll stay in play, but a Norwich player won't get there ahead of Ethan Ampadu. It's back to Meslier, and the Leeds are in possession again. Meslier, high ball out to the left wing towards Somerville. Tries to let it bounce, but it's stopped by Stacey. But an offside flag up there on Somerville. A little bit lazy that from Somerville. Can't be being caught offside there. As Norwich are going to make another change here. And the returning Dimitros Yanulis has been able to play 75 minutes here on his return. His last start was at the start of March. He'd missed the last 9 games previously before returning for the Birmingham game on the last day. And he'll be replaced by the number 15 of Sam McCallum, who made his 50th championship appearance for Norwich in that defeat to Birmingham away from home. Brought in from Coventry back in January of 2020. Now at the age of 23. Contract expires at the end of the season for the full-back as Gibson overruns it in the midfield. And there's a chance on for Leeds. Really poor giveaway from Gibson. Kamara through into the space for Somerville on the left. He tries to help his teammate recover this one here, Stacey, and he slows down Somerville really well. Norwich get players back behind the ball. Good defending from Jack Stacey. Just to send Somerville away from goal. Kamara gets the ball here. 25 yards from goal. Just towards this near side. Forward to Anthony. Back into Kamara. It's now Anthony again. Off the bench for Leeds United. On loan from Bournemouth. Tries to go on the outside there of Nunez. Doesn't allow that to happen. Kicks it out of play. Throw in for Leeds in the final third. Good defending there by Marcelino Nunez. Now Ampadu. Everyone behind the ball here for Norwich as they're camped in their own half for the moment. Goes across to the right centre half here, Rodon. To the far side to Byram. Wants the 1-2 of Anthony, but Byram's run is stopped by McCallum, the substitute. And that'll be a free kick in the right wing position here for Leeds United. who are just starting to dominate this game now, putting Norwich under all sorts of pressure. Thanks everyone who's here, 35 people, brilliant numbers. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Plenty more commentaries coming from now until July, with obviously the Euros taking place as well. Got playoff commentaries. We are going to hopefully commentate on all of the playoff finals, Championship, League One and League Two. We've already done the National League playoff final as well, so it's exciting times on the channel in terms of all the games we're able to cover. So from that free kick on the right-hand side, it's delivered and it's flicked on by Byram and just over the top of the goal there. Just swung a leg at it and he was able just to almost backheel that. Bit of a scorpion kick attempt there by Byram. But over the bar it went, never going to trouble. Agnes Gunn in the Norwich goal. Agnes Gunn. Sending the ball long up towards Sargent, who's been very isolated up front and he won't beat Rodon to the header. And it's Leeds who are back in possession now. Firpo into Kamara inside the Leeds half is again. They're going to be the team who are settled with the possession. And it's Norwich who are going to have to defend here. Firpo. Midway inside the Norwich half on this near side. Forward to Somerville. Returns it to Firpo. And back it goes to Kamara. Gurev can take it on the turn. Byram's free on the right. He'll lift it out to the right back, who takes it down nicely. And then forward to Anthony, who pulls it back, but it's a good block by Sainz. And it's a corner for Leeds. Good defending there by the Spanish winger. Because Anthony was looking for the first time. Cut back in towards the 18-yard box. Another chance from a set piece here for Leeds United. It would be their biggest win of the season if they can nick this one late. They won the reverse fixture at Carrow Road in the normal season in the 85th minute through Somerville, which made 3-2, completing a comeback from 2-0 down. In Swinger. Deliveries in. That's very deep. It's a bit too deep. The header has to be won, though, by McLean. And he'll go for a Leeds throw-in on the opposite side. Strong header from the captain. And Leeds will take the throw-in with Firpo in the end. Ampadu will leave it. So it's back here to Somerville, who's been forced to retake the throw-in here. Firpo has to go closer to the corner flag here. Referee being very awkward there, making Firpo go all the way back to the exact spot where the throw-in should be taken as Norwich clear it. Misplaced pass from Kamara. Throw-in on the halfway line on this near side for Leeds United, who have definitely been the best side the last 5-10 minutes. But nothing to show for it, as we've got 10 minutes left to play. It's definitely going to leave for a very interesting second leg, this. There's Ampadu. Goes back to the goalkeeper and Melier on the edge of the 18-yard box. That second leg taking place on Thursday night. Make sure you're there for it. As Anthony gets a poor pass given to him, but he keeps it for Leeds in the midfield area there. It's now back with Melier to Ampadu on the edge of the box. It's the number 44, Gurev. Plays it to his right here to Rodon, who will bring it forward from the back into the Norwich half. He wanted to play forward, but instead goes to his left to Gurev. Ampadu. Forward here for Glenn Kamara. Inside for Piru, just dropped a little bit deep for the ball, slips it through for Somerville, lays it off for Archie Gray, in the box, left-hand side, shot goes in, blocked by Stacey. It's another corner for Leeds. Aimed towards the near post, that shot there by Archie Gray, who's only scored one time this season. That was against Leicester in the league in the middle of February. Had started the previous 9 in a row, Archie Gray, but was dropped to the bench for the last day of the season against Southampton. Somerville takes it forward into the box to Glenn Kamara. Returns it to Somerville. Then on the edge of the area, Jaden Anthony, the one to shoot, and it's straight down the throat of Agnes Gunn. Not at all challenging there for the 28-year-old goalkeeper. He's definitely struck better than that, Jaden Anthony. who won promotion from this division in 2021 with Bournemouth. Scored 8 in 45 championship appearances. He's only got the 1 this season for Leeds. In a 3-0 home win in September against Watford. He's only started twice as well this season, Jayden Anthony. His last start was against Stoke in October as Agnes Gunn kicks the ball out of play here, and Josh Sargent's down for Norwich. Not a great look here for the home side. They'll need him for the second leg for sure. They have got Sidney van Hooijdonk as the replacement striker who they brought in on loan from January from Bologna. Josh Sargent has struggled with injury early on this season. Ankle problem from September to December, but he's not really been in the game today. He's been very isolated up front, as we mentioned before. This is his 99th Norwich appearance. Of course, now he's just the one-off from 100. So he's going to have to get some treatment here, Josh Sargent, from the Norwich physio. But it's Leeds who are on top at the moment, so it's probably a good time to try and kill the bit of the Leeds momentum that they've currently got at the moment. So it looks like they are going to have to bring on Van Hooijdonk. So the American Josh Sargent, who had scored 16 goals this season in the league, will be coming off for the Dutch 6'3" striker of Sidney van Hooijdonk, who came in January, and he's not scored or started for Norwich. This is his 11th appearance, all of them in the Championship. Norwich do have an option to buy if they would like to make that permanent. Scored a lot of goals last season, Van Hooijdonk, on loan at Heerenveen in the Dutch Eredivisie. Age of 24 as Anthony throws the ball back to Agnes Gunn. Sportsmanlike behaviour from Leeds. And we're back underway with 6.5 to play. Still 0-0. Left centre half. Ben Gibson on the ball. Plenty of time with it. No one in a Leeds shirt pressing him, but he goes back here to Gunn. The goalkeeper in a light blue kit tonight. Looks very nice, that, the colour. As he lifts it to the left back of McCallum. Just too high for him. Heads it into the stands in the end, and it's a throw-in in the Norwich half for Leeds. Thrown quickly by Byram to Kamara. Tries to work it back through to Byram. No touch off a Norwich player. And it's a throw-in for the home side. Couldn't quite work it back through to Byram there, Kamara. McCallum, long throwing down the line towards Van Hooijdonk. Dealt with, though, by Byram. Another throw in here for Norwich. Just inside their own half here. Throwing taken by McCallum goes all the way across here to Duffy. That's risky, but it does work. He lifts it into the sky here in the Leeds half. Header won, though, by Firpo on Fastnacht. Then Jayden Anthony forward to Gray. And Jayden Anthony takes over again. Down the right-hand side. No one getting close enough to him at the moment. Jayden Anthony's got the run of Byram, and he finds him from right back. Byram, one-on-one with McCallum. Finds Anthony on the edge of the box. Entering the box. Trying to get past Nunez, but he runs right into him. Tackled, and Norwich can try and break if they can. Van Hooijdonk. Forced to go back towards McCallum. It goes through instead towards the goalkeeper. McLean takes over. Goes across to the goalie. In the end, who can clear? Somerville nearly nicked it off him. Clearance goes up towards Sarah, dealt with by Ampadu. Foul, though, by Byram there. Catching Borja Sainz in the face. And that'll be a free kick for Norwich, who are just about surviving this game now. It's Leeds the one dominating the game. It must be said. Free kick taken and another 1-1. Kamara this time committing the foul. Doesn't agree with the decision. Glenn Kamara, the former Europa League semi-finalist. Just tackling Sarah there. Just to grab with the shirt, really. You know you can't do that these days. The referees see you pull of the shirt and they'll blow. For a free kick. Very central, this free kick. And very far out. Not a great angle for a delivery, really. It's about 35 yards out from goal. No chance for a shot. They're definitely going to have to maybe work a better angle for a cross or just send it in straight away into the box. As Duffy has gone forward for this one. Sarah delivers it in towards Duffy. Can't meet it. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. You could see the idea there by Sarah, but couldn't quite find Duffy, who was making a bending run into the box. Look at that fourth official. He's a unit. Is anyone watching the game? As Leeds are going to make another change. Fresh legs. Crescencio Somerville, their player of the year, the championship player of the year, replaced for the last couple of minutes by Dan James. Just a bit of fresh legs on. And again, Crescencio Somerville's not quite had the rub of the green tonight. Not had too many chances, despite scoring a brace here last time out in the January game. In the October game. Between these two. So Melier with the goal kick. Has anyone seen the fourth official, Stephen Martin? If anyone's watching, you know what I'm saying. He looks an absolute unit. Massive arms. Don't mess with him, that's for sure. As Norwich have a throw-in the left-back position with McCallum. About 10 yards away from the halfway line. Can throw it rather far. And he will do that. Long throwing down the line. Headed away by Rodon. Drops the halfway line to McLean. Hooks it forward towards Van Hooijdonk. Headed away by Rodon. Headed on by Dan James. Can't quite find Anthony. Headed forward by Duffy. Intercepted by Grev. Headed into the air by Gray. Someone needs to get control of this ball as McCallum heads it forward. Van Hooijdonk will chase it, but it's headed backwards by Ampadu into Melier. And it's Leeds on the ball with 2 minutes to play of the 90. Of course, we'll get a little bit of added on time. Not sure how much, though, in fairness. We had a little stoppage of Nonto, didn't we? So we might get 4 or 5 minutes of added on time, possibly. There's Melier. Long ball forward, very long ball, bit too long. Header won by Duffy in the end. Drops midway inside the Norwich half to Kamara. Header not great. Brought down in the end for Norwich by Fastnacht. Nunez takes over, dribbling towards his own goal. Tripped by Pirro. And that'll be a Norwich free kick. Well won there by Nunez because he was running into a bit of danger there. The 24-year-old. Ben Gibson taking the free kick. Did he take it quickly? Looks like he was going to take it quickly, but opted against that, and he's left it for his goalkeeper of Agnes Gunn. Takes it to the left centre half here to Gibson. High ball down the left, and it's a shocking pass. Nowhere near his intended target there of McCallum. Needs to be passing the ball better than that Ben Gibson, whose contract is up at the end of this season. Been at the club permanently since July 2021. Had a loan spell from Burnley the season before. Throwing down the line for Leeds. Header away by McCallum. Another throw-in for the away side. Taken quickly by Byram. It's a long throw-in and Dan James will chase this one down. Nunez will get there first. Needs to deal with it towards the byline. James wins it though in the box. Angles tight. Can he work across? He can. It's a lifty one to the far post. Firpo gets there. Puts it back in himself. A header away for Norwich. Up towards Sarah, who's brought down illegally. And that'll be a free kick for Norwich. Bit of a half chance there for Leeds. Well won in the box there by James. He felt like Nunez just had to get rid, but he couldn't. Nothing came of it in the end for Leeds United. As we've hit the 90th minute here at Carrow Road. And how much will be added on here? 4 minutes added on. We predicted 4 or 5, and it will be 4, indicated by the referee, Josh Smith. It would be very late drama now if we get a goal in this game. Long ball forward out to the left. McCallum heads on towards Sarah. Van Hooijdonk battling with Byram. It's Byram to win it and absolutely slam that one away down the line. But interestingly enough, these two managers have never drawn against the other team. Wagner's never drawn against Leeds and Farke's never drawn against Norwich. Of course, this is Farke's third time managing against Norwich, as he was once manager of them for 4 years. Won 88 games as Norwich manager in 208 matches, losing 73. Just won 6 from 49 games in the Premier League, though, that he took charge of. As McCallum from left back, heading it forward towards Van Hooijdonk, who will chase it down, but Melier will get there first. Less than 3 minutes to play here. And it looks like we are going to have a stalemate at 0-0. So you could say advantage is in the hands of Leeds, who will get to play that second leg at home. Melier Long kick forward towards Piru. Chest it down towards Gray. Can't quite keep it away from McLean. It's now with the goalkeeper Gunn. First time clearance forward, taking no risks. Up towards Sarah. Can't quite beat Road onto it. Byram keeps in down the right hand side. Flicked on by James. Cleared into the air by McLean. Brought down by Gurev. Finding Byram. Lifting it in behind. James will chase this one. Gibson controls rather well and takes him on. Just about. That was risky. Would have been a big error there from Ben Gibson as Gunn clears it. Sarah flicks on. Van Hooijdonk will chase it. Can't quite get there. The striker, and he fouls Rodon. Doesn't agree with the decision there. The substitute, Sidney Van Hooijdonk. It was the challenge on Byram in the end. Yeah, just caught him as he cleared it. Right decision from the referee. As we've got less than 2 minutes left to play here in this rather cagey Championship semi-final first leg. So Meslier with it. Just in front of the midway point of the Leeds half. He's going to send it down the right-hand side, it looks like. Meslier plays it forward, up towards Piru. Heads it to Gray, then forward to James. Beats McCallum to it. Kicks it out wide left here. Jaden Anthony will chase it. Jack Stacey will control and clear down the line. Good defending by the fullback in the end there. As on the halfway line, Ampadu heads down to Firpo. Finds Kamara in midfield. It's now Jaden Anthony. Down the left here to Kamara. Is there one last opportunity for Leeds? Anthony holding it up. Going back into Kamara. Minute to play. Firpo through the legs of Stacey. Piru drifted out to the left. Tries to slip a ball through to Anthony. Deflects away. And it's now into the feet of Science. Tackled fairly there. It's now with Kamara. To the right to Gray. Chests it. Lifts it into the box towards Piru. Can't quite get there. Header won by Duffett. He looks like he's hurt himself in that winning of the header. And then on the edge of the box, Sarah is brought down by Gray. And with 30 seconds to play, it looks like this semi-final first leg will end 0-0. Both teams have definitely had spells in the game throughout the 90 minutes where they've looked okay, but nothing really too major to really trouble any of the two goalkeepers, in all honesty. But it does leave, like we say, for a very exciting second leg, which will be brought to you here on this channel. Live commentary on Thursday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. As you can see, running across the bottom of your screen. So we've played the forehand on. Agnes Gunn will take this free kick from the edge of the box. Big kick forward. And after the first leg, it is Norwich 0, Leeds 0. Referee blows for full time here on this Sunday lunchtime kickoff. Neither of the two teams can take an advantage into the first leg, into the second leg. But Leeds will definitely fancy themselves going to Ellen Road with the game all level. They will have that slight advantage of having to play the second leg at home. But both teams are still in it, which will be the positive for both sides, if there is positive to take. Very cagey affair at Carrow Road. Both teams trying to win, but definitely both teams not wanting to lose, that is for sure. And at the end of this first leg here, it finishes Norwich 0, Leeds 0. All to play for on Thursday night. I won't even mind, but before the game, before I started my commentary, I said to someone in my house, I went, I'm feeling confident about this game. I think we'll get goals. And as I walked into this room to do my live commentary, I said, watch this be 0-0. And it's ended 0-0. So I will take blame. My fault. I jinxed the result. As it has ended 0-0 here. Just a bit more cagey than I thought it was going to be. If I'm going to be completely honest, is that is Norwich finished now for this season at home. Their final game at Carrow Road, but of course they could still have a possibility of 2 games to play. They've definitely got one more as they travel to Leeds on Thursday night. When these two sides met at Ellen Road, it was a 1-0 win for Leeds, a goal in the 16th minute through Bamford. So that is now a winning run of 4 in a row over for Leeds. They had won the last 4 in a row against Norwich, but that comes to an end now. We hadn't had a draw in the previous 8 games between these two. So that's also come to an end, that run. But it's now just 3 wins in 16 for Norwich against Leeds. They will have to win at Ellen Road. Simple as that. If that's in the 90 minutes or within 120 minutes or through penalties, they've got to go away with a win. That is going to be a difficult ask because Leeds have only lost twice at home this season. But it's definitely going to make out for a very interesting and exciting second leg. I'm very much looking forward to it because, like I say, both teams definitely showed there what they can do for sure. They had little spells here and there, but just not enough clear-cut opportunities at either goal. And like I say, ends 0-0 here. So hope you did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already. We've got plenty of commentaries coming next week. I'll just go through them very quickly before you go so you know what commentaries are coming up. They will be scheduled on the channel for next week. So our first commentaries on the Wednesday night as Spurs and Chelsea women take on each other in the WSL. And then we've got the second leg on the Thursday, Leeds against Norwich. And then on the Saturday, we've got Bolton against Oxford in the League One final, playoff final. And then we are covering the League Two playoff final on the Sunday as Crewe take on Crawley. So 4 commentaries coming at the end of next week. Make sure you're here for them because they are all going to be massive games in their respective competitions. I'm not just saying that to try and make you come and watch them. They are genuinely huge games. 2 playoff finals. We've got a second leg of a playoff semi-final, which is, of course, 0-0. So, all to play for. And then that Spurs-Chelsea women's game, that could decide the title. If Spurs win, it's City's title. If Chelsea win, then the title is in their hands, go into the last game of the season. So, really big commentaries coming up on the channel, and I'm really looking forward to how all those games do end up being played out and what results will take place. But if you did enjoy this live commentary, make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already, as Norwich and Leeds are held to a stalemate. It's 0-0 overall, both teams showing what they can do, but neither team being able to find the back of the net. It's all to play for on Thursday, as here at Carrow Road it finishes Norwich 0, Leeds 0.